Have you ever walked through a forest just before a storm? There's a certain electricity in the air, a sense that something is about to change. The sky darkens, the wind pauses, and the world seems to hold its breath. There's a peculiar stillness. Birds go quiet, the air feels heavy, and even the plants seem to brace themselves. It's as if the entire forest is tuned in to a frequency we can barely sense, waiting for the first drop of rain. The leaves droop, flowers close, and everything seems to anticipate what's coming. These subtle changes are easy to miss if you're not paying attention, but they're part of a silent language that's been spoken for millennia. Long before satellites and weather apps, people watched these subtle changes for clues. For centuries, farmers, shepherds, and travelers relied on the wisdom of the land to guide their decisions and keep them safe. Farmers would notice clover leaves folding, a sign that rain was on its way. These observations weren't just habits, they were essential for survival, helping people prepare for sudden storms or plan their harvests. Or they'd spot pimpernel flowers closing, nature's way of signaling rain. Even the smallest wildflowers played their part in this intricate system, each with its own way of responding to the coming weather. These weren't just old tales, they were survival skills, honed by generations who read the land. Families passed down this knowledge, teaching children to notice the tiniest details in the world around them. Today, we're often disconnected from these rhythms, relying on forecasts instead of the silent signals all around us. In our busy, modern lives, it's easy to forget that nature is always communicating, if only we take the time to listen. But the plants haven't forgotten. They still respond to the atmosphere, carrying on their ancient conversation with the elements. Their leaves, stems, and flowers react to shifts in humidity, pressure, and light, quietly adapting to the world's changes. By observing them, we can reconnect with this lost knowledge. It's a chance to slow down, to become more present, and to rediscover the wisdom that once guided our ancestors. Imagine stepping outside and reading the weather in the way a farmer once did, by watching the clover, the flowers, and the trees. Each plant offers a clue, a small piece of the puzzle that is our natural world. Nature's forecasting system is still there, waiting for us to notice. It's a living, breathing network of signs and signals, quietly unfolding all around us. All it takes is a little attention to witness the quiet spectacle of plants predicting the weather. With patience and curiosity, we can learn to read these signs and deepen our connection to the world outside. The next time the world goes still before a storm, look closer. The plants are already telling the story. Their silent warnings are there for anyone willing to see, reminding us that nature's wisdom is always within reach. It may seem magical, almost as if plants possess a secret language with the world around them. But plants sense the weather through science, not sorcery. Their abilities are rooted in biology, chemistry, and evolution, not in fantasy. They're finely tuned to their environment, detecting even the slightest changes in humidity, air pressure, and the quality of light. These subtle shifts in the atmosphere are like messages, and plants are expert listeners. When humidity rises before a storm, many plants close tiny pores on their leaves, stomata, to protect themselves from excess moisture. This helps them avoid losing vital nutrients or becoming waterlogged. Some can even sense drops in barometric pressure, which often signal an approaching storm. This sensitivity allows them to prepare for harsh weather before it arrives. This triggers subtle changes inside the plant, helping it brace for rain or wind. Chemical signals travel from cell to cell, telling the plant to adjust its posture or close up to minimize damage. Inside, a network of hormones and electrical signals works together, coordinating these responses with remarkable precision. Plants are also masters of light detection. Specialized cells in their leaves can sense the tiniest changes in sunlight, allowing them to track the sun's movement across the sky. As storm clouds gather and sunlight dims, flowers and leaves adjust their behavior. Some may close up to protect delicate petals, while others shift their leaves to catch any available light. Morning glories may stay closed, waiting for brighter conditions before they bloom again. And other flowers conserve energy, folding their petals inward to shield themselves from the elements and reduce water loss. All in response to the shifting light, these movements are carefully timed and coordinated, ensuring the plant's survival. These responses aren't random, they're survival strategies, honed over millennia. Each adaptation is a result of countless generations learning to read the sky and air. Every leaf, stem, and petal is a living sensor, constantly reading the air. Plants are always gathering information, even when we can't see it happening. The next time you see a flower close or a leaf curl, remember, it's reacting to invisible changes in the atmosphere. These movements are silent signals, a plant's way of communicating with the world. Plants are living barometers, quietly forecasting the weather all around us. Their responses can even help us predict what's coming if we know how to read them. Their silent signals are there for anyone willing to watch and learn. By paying attention, we can unlock the hidden wisdom of the natural world, right in our own backyards. Flowers aren't just beautiful, they're expert weather forecasters, quietly observing the world around them and responding in ways we're only beginning to understand. Many flowers open their petals with the first rays of sunlight and close them as night falls, but their movements are far more complex than just following the sun. They're sensitive to subtle shifts in the environment, especially changes in weather. Take the scarlet pimpernel, for example. This small wildflower is often called the poor man's weather glass because it closes its petals tightly before rain, even if it's still daylight. For centuries, farmers and gardeners have watched this flower for clues about approaching storms. By closing up, the scarlet pimpernel protects its precious pollen from being washed away by rain, ensuring it can still reproduce when the weather clears. This clever adaptation helps the plant survive and thrive. Morning glories, tulips, and crocuses have similar instincts. As storm clouds gather, these flowers sense the change and close up, shielding their delicate reproductive parts from wind and water. It's a natural umbrella, designed by evolution. Even dandelions, which seem so simple, close their yellow heads and droop before wet weather arrives. Their response is so reliable that some people use dandelions as a living barometer. These remarkable movements are controlled by specialized cells at the base of the petals. These cells swell or shrink in response to humidity, acting like tiny pumps that move the petals. It's a miniature hydraulic system, triggered by the moisture in the air. As humidity rises, the cells absorb water and change shape, causing the petals to close or open. So, when you see flowers suddenly closing on a seemingly nice day, it's nature's way of sending a silent message. Rain is on the way, and the plants are getting ready. The language of flowers is subtle and ancient, but if you know how to read it, it's one of the most reliable and beautiful signs of changing weather that nature has to offer. Leaves, too, are weather watchers. Trees like silver maple and poplar have pale undersides to their leaves, usually hidden on calm days. As a storm approaches and winds pick up, the leaves twist, revealing their silvery backs, a shimmering signal of rain. This isn't just wind, it's a protective move, turning delicate stomata away from harsh weather. Large-leafed plants like rhubarb may droop as humidity rises, slowing water loss. These subtle shifts help plants conserve resources and survive storms. For centuries, people have watched for leaves showing their backs as a sure sign to seek shelter. Next time the wind stirs the trees, look for this silvery warning. The forest's quiet choreography is a living weather report. Pine cones are nature's simplest weather gadgets. On dry days, their scales open wide. When rain is coming, they close up tight. This isn't magic, it's mechanics. The scales are made of 2 layers. The outer absorbs moisture and swells. The inner stays rigid, causing the cone to close. This protects the seeds, releasing them only when dry winds can carry them far. Even after falling from the tree, a pine cone will open and close with the weather. Place one on your windowsill and watch. It's a natural barometer. This clever design ensures seeds travel far and survive. The humble pine cone is a perfect example of nature's engineering. It's a timeless, reliable way to read the air's moisture. Sometimes, the best weather forecast is right at your feet. Folklore about plants and weather is rooted in real observation. Flowers smell sweeter before rain is true. Humidity traps scent molecules, making fragrances stronger. Coastal communities use dried seaweed as a natural hygrometer, crisp when dry, soft when rain is near. Mosses and lichens also change with humidity, turning vibrant and soft before rain. These traditions weren't just stories, they were practical tools for survival. While not every saying is scientific, many reflect a deep understanding of nature's signals. Before weather apps, people relied on clover, pine cones, and seaweed to predict rain. These old tales are a legacy of ecological wisdom. Nature's clues are still there, waiting for us to notice. Today's meteorology uses satellites, radar, and supercomputers to predict weather with incredible precision. These forecasts cover vast areas and give us days of warning, but plant signals offer something different. Hyperlocal, immediate clues about what's happening right where you are. A closing flower or twisting leaf can warn of rain minutes before it falls, sometimes faster than any app. Science gives us the big picture. Plants give us the details on the ground. The two aren't rivals, they're partners. By combining technology with nature's wisdom, we get the fullest forecast. Sometimes the best weather report is a glance at the nearest tree. Anyone can learn to read the weather through plants. Start by observing a few local plants, trees, flowers, or even potted ones. Notice how they look on sunny days. Then watch for changes: leaves curling, flowers closing, pine cones tightening. Keep a simple journal of your observations and the weather that follows. Pine cones and clover are great starting points. Watch how they react to humidity. Over time, you'll spot patterns and develop an intuition for what the plants are telling you. This practice deepens your connection to nature and brings a sense of wonder to everyday life. It's not just about predicting rain. It's about seeing the world with new eyes. The more you watch, the more you'll understand the silent language of plants. Nature's magic is always there, waiting for you to notice. In our tech-driven world, it's easy to overlook nature's quiet wisdom. Plants are silent forecasters, constantly reading and responding to the air. Their weather-predicting behaviors are survival strategies, perfected over millions of years. By learning to read these signs, we reconnect with ancient skills and deepen our bond with the natural world. Watching a pine cone close or a flower fold becomes a mindful moment, a reminder of life's ingenuity. Next time you step outside, look for these subtle signals. The plants are always forecasting, if we take the time to watch and listen. They are nature's timeless weather reporters, with lessons for anyone willing to pay attention.